From the biggest moments
Can you believe it?
to gold medal championships,
Sidney Crosby, the golden goal!
it's your update on Canada's game. You're listening to the True North Ice podcast with Jacob Ewing and Caleb Schneider.
Hello and welcome to the True North Ice podcast, where we talk about everything Hockey Canada and everything Canadian hockey related. I'm Jacob Ewing, joined alongside always Caleb Schneider. Caleb, how are we doing on this fine Monday night?
Wow. Interesting weekend and the international hockey stage for Canada. And we also had a very interesting, we're not going to talk about it, but great weekend of NHL hockey as well. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's been a fun weekend for all you hockey lovers out there. So excited to talk about the World Championships again today, as this was our second pod on it. And then next week's pod will be recapping the playoffs, which will be always fun, as of course. So yeah.
Yeah, Canada just getting out. We'll have one more round robin game. It kind of sucks that it's tomorrow and we don't have that game played, but it will be the biggest game for Team Canada, probably opponent-wise, playing Sweden, who on paper probably has the second best roster in the tournament.
Yeah.
But we have a lot to break down today, including Sidney Crosby's first loss at a double IHF tournament since the year 2010.
Wow, 2010.
Yeah, 2010. It was a double IHF tournament playing for Canada.
for the
He has not
Olympics?
lost. Yeah, Olympics.
Yeah.
It was in the
I
Olympics.
guess, yeah. IHF is the Olympics, right? Wow, that is, well, granted, he's only played two other times, but
Yep.
that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's against Finland, who has, what, no, not three, like 5 NHL players?
I'd say
Two
about that, yeah.
NHL goalies. Of course, they have UC Saros, the best goalie in the tournament, most likely. Or who's better, Markstrom or UC Saros? But anyways, kind of ugly today. But
We'll get into
Just
that.
a brick
We'll get
wall.
into that. Yeah, he's been a brick wall all tournament long.
Yeah.
He's been, especially, well, Finland has struggled against certain teams, but he's always been pretty rock solid. Finland's very hit or miss for some
Yeah.
reason. We'll get into it later, but they barely scraped by against France.
Yeah.
And they lost only 2-1 against Sweden.
there you go.
And, well, we all know what happened today, or as you're watching this, 2 days past, when they beat us in a shootout 2-1. We'll break down that game later in the episode.
Yeah.
But just crazy. Anyways, we'll get to it later, but let's get into it. So last episode, Cal, we broke down the first 2 games of the tournament. That was against Slovenia, where we opened up a 4-0 win, and then it was Latvia, 7-1.
Yeah.
Well, the boys have continued to roll. They then went on to play France, who at the time was kind of seen as, well, I would say probably one of the easiest opponents in the tournament.
Yeah.
Canada's schedule, their schedule started very light. We played a
Yeah.
lot of the lighter teams first.
Well, yeah, they played the top 2 teams back to back on the final 2 days. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
No,
so
like, these first 5 games were kind of guaranteed wins, right? So yeah.
absolutely gain some chemistry, kind of work it around. It's
Mm-hmm.
also good. Dylan Garand got a game. Marc-Andre Fleury got a couple games, and Jordan Binnington also got a game. I forget. I think he played. Did he
he's
play the
played 2.
France game? Did he play the France game? And
yeah,
then-
that was his first game. France was the
Yeah.
first game, and then he would have played. Would he have not played against Slovakia? I believe so.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so big jump
yeah.
from Connor. Yeah, big jump for Jordan Binnington. Playing the Winnipeg Jets in Game 7 to playing France a couple days
Yeah.
later. So that's quite the jump. But
that is, yeah, you're right. That's actually, I didn't really think about that.
yeah,
Game 7, when you think you've won it and there's 1.3 seconds left on the clock, and it sounds like you're going to round 2 to play Dallas Stars. And,
Oh, yeah.
and then a few days later, you're playing Team France.
I mean, if there's one way to gain back your confidence, that is the direct way
Yeah.
to do it. That is the way to do it. So, there's not. I don't know how deep we can get into this France game. It was kind of what we've seen overall throughout the first 3, the 2 games before that. Just kind of just domination from the team. Bo Horvat had 2 goals. He continues to have a phenomenal tournament. Out today, out of the Finland game, did not play. I missed what happened to him. I'm not sure if he was out of the lineup to start the game or if there was an injury. I might have missed something. I think I missed about the first. I missed the first and a period and about half the second of today's game against Finland. But huge miss for Bo Horvat. He's been phenomenal in the face-off dot. He was activating at like 90% throughout the whole tournament. Easily led the tournament in percentage. Was able to come in and win huge face-offs. Scored a bunch of goals. I'm pretty sure maybe not anymore with Nathan MacKinnon kind of tearing it up. But Bo Horvat was up there with goals. And he did not play a lot of this game. We'll see. Let me just check real quick. But something that when we get into these later games, like the big games, when I'm sure we'll meet Sweden, I'm sure we'll meet the U.S. somewhere in the bracket. You're gonna want everybody going. Yes, this team is deep, but you want to, especially when the team is deep, you need the players that are performing at a high level. You're gonna give them minutes, nonetheless. Everybody's capable on this team of being a really good player. You're gonna get the guys who are on heaters. You're gonna give them the minutes, right? So. Let me just check real quick.
Well, yeah, this is also the game. Tyson Forrester, he also re-aggravated an injury or something, so he missed the next game. He's back in the lineup now, but this was also the game where he hurt himself as well and knocked him out of a game as well. He didn't play in the Austria game. So
okay, and so I got it right here. Bo Horvat only played 11 minutes, took 13 shifts, had 5 shots. And, he was playing on the top line with Nathan MacKinnon and his other line mate. Was it Sid the Kid? I don't know.
No, well,
I know
Forrester was on the top. Yeah. Was on the top 6. I'm pretty sure. Was it not him? I believe it was.
I believe
Forrester assisted him in the first. Yeah. Maybe it's Travis Konechny.
I think you're right. I think it was Forrester. Anyways, maybe jump on the line. Okay. Bo Horvat did leave the game today.
Tyson Forrester.
Yeah. He did leave the game today early. I'm just trying to find out why. I missed it, obviously, which really sucks. Because as I've been saying, he's already won 2 MVPs for 2 of the games. Just a big loss. That's a pretty big loss. He's also playing. He's been playing on PP1, and especially when you get deeper into the tournament, if you already have a power play that's already been meshing and connecting, especially with players who have never played with each other, you don't want to get rid of that. You want to continue the flow. And Bo Horvat's been the trigger man. You let Nathan MacKinnon, you let Sidney Crosby, both on the opposite sides of the ice, kind of use the space and work it around. And Bo Horvat's been the trigger man. And now with him out, hopefully it's not for too long.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Bo Horvat was really, really, really good in those first few games, right? And it does hurt when you lose one of those top performers, and you just got to see how these guys bounce back. And really, I mean, in our minds as a fan, it really shouldn't seem too challenging for them to bounce back, given all the star talent and all the like a lot of players have been performing well. So a loss that definitely would hurt when we play Finland and Sweden, but I mean, when we got these Austria, Slovakia games, I don't know. You don't really need them as much, right?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
But those games are in the past now, right? Like. Yeah, we are. I'm just trying to find out what it was. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was an injury. It could have been he just got a game. I don't think he got a major because it didn't see any crazy penalty minutes. But
well, he did play all the he played after that. So like, I mean,
he
I'm
played
surprised.
11.
I'm surprised that wouldn't they be precautionary and have him sit out for a game or two, just because if he is hurt, when these games don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, but he played 11 minutes today. When was his injury? When was his
I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, let's move on.
We beat France. That's pretty much all we can say.
Yeah,
Horvat scored twice. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we just talk about the team generally. We can comment about each game, and I think we go deeper into the Finland game because that's a game we could really break down and kind of get into because it wasn't the same story as every other game we've had so far.
Yeah.
I think the Austria game was good. I think Austria's been a team that's been, I think, a little underestimated coming into the tournament. Marco Kasper's playing at an insane level. But we handled them as we should. That game ended 5-1.
Okay.
And that was the game. Yeah, that was the game after France then went on to play Slovakia and just killed them pretty much 7-0. It was
Gave up only 14 shots, right?
Yeah, and that was like Slovakia is a team that I think could give. I mean, in any international tournament, Slovakia is always a sneaky team that I think can give any team a run for their money. Not today.
There's not much NHL. I don't think
No.
there's really Sam Honzek, Dalibor Dvorsky.
Yeah.
Sad about it.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
just to note, in that Austria game, the shots were 52-16 for Canada. So that
Yeah.
says a lot. That says a lot. 3 points for Nate, 2 points for Will Cooley. Had himself a game. Only played 13 minutes, but able to get 2 points on the
Yeah.
scoreboard. Bo Horvat, 2 assists. Not just a trigger man, can also shoot the puck. Pardon me, not just a trigger man, also can pass the puck is what I meant to say. Brandon Montour, 3 assists as well in that game. There's just
It like we've said these for the past couple pods. It's hard to break these ones down, right? It's just dominance, really. That's all it really is, and it's hard to tell what this team really is until we actually play teams like Finland, Sweden, where we've got NHL talent versus NHL talent. So
Yep, exactly. Do we want to just jump into the Finland game?
sure, why not? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, I think going into this game, the mentality was the longer this game stays scoreless or low scoring, the longer it will benefit Finland. And the longer it will kind of shift Finland's way because there's so much talent on this Canada team that if one goes in, another one's going to go in, and another one's going to go in, and it's going to start to snowball, right?
Yeah.
And the Finns are a very good defensive team. All their games have kind of been, I mean, I want to say low scoring. Like they like 2-1 against Latvia. I mean, okay, 9-1 against Slovenia, but that's Slovenia. 2-1 against Sweden, 4-3 barely pinched it off against France. They're all decently close games against opponents that they probably like 2-1 against Austria. Very close games. They play such a tight game, and that's what they did against Canada. This is the way that
That's how they
that's
the hockey they play. Like they've always played that. That's what their country has done. That's what their program is. Defensive, hard on the D. That's really all it is. And that's what we saw. It was vintage Finland hockey, right? So
yeah, exactly. Like they were just keeping us outside of the slot, not letting any dangerous rebounds kind of pop out right there, because that's how you're going to get your goals, especially in a game when you're just trying to find a dirty one at this point. Like the game was 0-0 halfway through the second, and at that point, you're just ripping shots from the circles is not going to do it, because UC Saros is a superstar goaltender, an all-star goalie in the NHL. He's probably, as you said earlier, the best goalie at this tournament, and he's faced all these players dozens of times.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. These guys, Canada's lineup is so good. Like, how did we let, first of all, Finland, they don't have all these, like, we dominated and we still couldn't find any opportunity to actually score. We only scored once. Like, how does this lineup only score one? Like, that's how good he is. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and he didn't have a great year this year. So, I mean, I don't know.
He did not. He did not. He probably definitely came to the World Championships to kind of find his groove. Yeah. And, well, he has found it. He is definitely he has definitely found it. Oh, yeah. And good for him. Good for him, seriously. And the thing about, like, I'm looking at the shot chart right now, and Canada did a good job of, like, there was barely any pucks near the crease. Canada kept them to the outside, and it was because Canada really, when they got their cycle going, it was just nonstop in the Finns zone. And They just couldn't penetrate. I don't know what it was. Just the Finns. Like, yeah, we got inside every so often, and when we did, the Finns were just get in front of it, box out, get the rebound right to the corners, sweep it away, let Saros see the puck, and that's what they did. And
Like, there wasn't many. How many shots were in the slot? Like high danger shots in the slot.
I mean, mind you, there was a decent amount for Canada. Like the
Okay.
first, I
Yeah.
see it at least 4. Second, all over, there's at least like more. Ryan O'Reilly scored his goal right in the middle of, right in front of the net, shorthanded. By the way, we did not score a goal 5-on-5 in this game.
Wow.
No 5-on-5 goals. It was a shorty, not even a power play, a shorty from Ryan
That's
O'Reilly.
awesome. Yeah.
I know. I was with 2-on-1, just a misplay from the defense of Finland. Couldn't keep the puck in the zone. There was a defender. It was Noah Dobson to jump all over it with a head full of speed. Ryan O'Reilly joined him. Nice little pass through the defenders, in between the defenders' skate and his stick. Ryan O'Reilly buries it. He's not going to miss many of those. Right in the slot. Yeah, but the slot chances were there. They were in front of the net every so often, but just couldn't find it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's just unfortunate. But like,
It
I
is.
mean, just because it's not the end of the world either, because Finland they went to OT with, was it France?
Yep.
So we still control our own destiny coming into Tuesday's game, which we'll know when this comes out. This podcast comes out, you'll know the results. But if we win, we're first. If we lose and Finland wins, then we'll become third. But
Yeah.
I do like our chances against Sweden, though.
I do too.
Yeah, meaning that we'll come first. So
I mean, I do too, but I also loved our chances against Finland, and we saw what happened there.
Yeah.
Sweden obviously hasn't lost a game yet.
No.
Looking pretty good, I would say.
and in their country as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing. There was a lot of there was a ton of Finnish fans there in the crowd. Definitely a bit of a boost that they got. Kind of just honestly booing Canada every time the PA announcer would say, "Who's cheering for Canada? Who's cheering for Finland?" And then everyone would go absolutely ballistic. And I mean that helps. Like
For sure.
These Finnish players who play in the what is it called over
The La Liga.
La Liga, yes. I don't know what I was thinking of. Yes, the Liga, the main league in Finland.
SHL is Sweden.
SHL. Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking of. Anyways, the Finnish Liga, these players who are from there and feed off this crowd, and they're playing this big team, and they get all this momentum. It's big. It's real. It's totally real.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not there. I haven't watched enough to know how many Canadian fans are there, but
It's a decent amount.
They're okay. Yeah, I would think they would be probably third or fourth, and
Yep.
just like obviously there's no statistic on that, but I would assume there's still a decent crowd. But there's nothing gonna be. Like when we play Sweden, there's gonna be nothing like that.
No,
Right,
and
Sweden's just gonna be a barn.
yeah. I mean, look at last year. Look at Czechia.
Yeah,
Czechia won the whole tournament. Yeah.
Right.
And at home, won the whole tournament. And it's not like their team was. I mean, they had Pasternak and Natchez, and like a couple of their NHLers, but it's not like their lineup was star-studded. Like, they got it done. So
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It does suck that we have to do this on the Monday, but that's just
It
how
does.
it is. Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, I do like our chances. We'll see how Jacob Markstrom does. I would assume since Fleury played the Finland game, it will be Bennington in.
has to be.
So-
Has to be Bennington.
Bennington versus Fleury, or sorry, Bennington versus Markstrom. Markstrom is better, but still.
But here's my only argument. I think personally, in a big time game, I'm going with Bennington.
That's true. He did.
He's
win
played.
us,
He's
yeah.
He's played so many big games. Yeah, he's won a Game 7 for a Stanley Cup. He's won obviously the Four Nations. He barely lost a Game 7 against the best team in the league this year. I would maybe not say his fault, but it's hard to argue. But
This I'm looking at the Sweden roster now, and
Yeah.
it is so deep.
it's good, man.
It's
is good.
really good. They have what, three players that aren't in the NHL that are playing in the SHL, which is still men's.
Yeah.
There's one guy in the Swiss league. Like, it's pretty good. They don't have a McKinnon or Crosby, but they have a good decor. They got like Philip Forsberg.
Yeah. I mean, and by the time this
Leo
episode comes out,
Carlson,
they'll already
Sebastian.
you guys already know the result. So we won't get too deep into kind of, talking about the game and what we think is going to happen because, well, it would already be out. So there's no real use of that. But good team.
Basically, we win, we come first. If we lose and Finland wins, if we lose in regulation and Finland wins in regulation, we come third.
Yeah.
That's really about it. If we go to OT, then I believe we just come second because we can't actually catch Sweden in points. So,
Okay.
whatever. I think it's gonna be. I'm going Canada. I think Canada's gonna come first.
I agree with you. I think Canada will take. I mean, especially looking to feed off this loss to Finland, and I think they'll come first too. I mean, you guys will already know when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
First would be huge. I believe that makes us do. Is it top 4 and 4?
Yeah,
so we play
so
the fourth team. Yeah, we play
Maybe
fourth.
Denmark, Denmark or Germany.
And I heard. Well, I mean, Nikolai Ehlers, I heard, is going over to Denmark for the World Championship, and Germany's got like Mort
Tim
Seider,
Stützle.
Timmy Stu,
Yeah, that would be.
Grubauer and net.
Oh,
Grubauer and net.
I wonder who they play. Let's look at the schedule. We got to now pull it all up. All right.
Pull it up.
On Tuesday, even though these games will happen. Oh, Germany and Denmark play each other, so we play the winner of that.
Wow, that's a big
I would
game.
assume. Well, yeah, for sure. I would assume Germany takes that one. Finland, Slovakia is also pretty big. I mean, Slovakia is good enough to maybe take down Finland. And then Latvia, Austria. I'm kind of cheering for Austria, just given
So
it's
am I.
Marco Casper versus the Worlds, and I kind of like that. It's kind of fun. So
It is very fun watching him operate.
yeah,
He's a good young player.
by himself. He's the only. It's just funny. He's doing so well, and they are on the brink of making the playoffs.
Right?
And yeah, he's basically carrying, not carrying, but he is the best player by far on that team, and it's just kinda
Absolutely.
awesome. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Absolutely. And so tomorrow's game, obviously, you guys will know the result. Depending on the result, it's really gonna. I think it's a huge test of how we're gonna operate when we play.
Yeah.
Probably play the U.S. and probably even Czechia. I think Czechia is a good run for a good game too. Like
Czechia and
this-
USA play tomorrow too.
If we
against
can
each other.
bounce, okay, that's a big game too. If we can bounce back from the loss of Finland and beat Sweden, then I think the team is good. They just need to they just need to find a way to win a big game. They lost a big game against Finland. Let's recoup, let's regroup, and let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's head into the playoffs strong.
Okay. Who would you want to play? Czechia, Switzerland, USA, or Germany? First round.
Czechia, Switzerland, USA, or Germany. I mean, I think that's pretty easy. Is
Is
I'd
it
say
Germany or
definitely
Switzerland?
It's definitely
Yeah,
Germany.
okay.
I mean,
That's-
Switzerland.
that's good.
Switzerland is a
No,
great
Switzerland's
team.
really good.
But just found out. I don't know if it's long term. But earlier
Oh.
today, it was announced that Nico Hischier did not play their game. I don't know if they played today.
He didn't play. No, he's been out for a little bit actually.
He's been out for a little bit. Okay, yeah, Nico Hischier is out.
Or
Ni-
maybe he just got hurt the other
Yeah,
game, but he's
it's
out
something
for-
like that.
I think
Yeah,
he's probably done for the tournament.
Which
I'm pretty
really
sure.
sucks. Really sucks.
Yeah.
He's the captain of that team, right? And him and Timo Meyer played big minutes
Yes.
for them. But I just also heard this morning that Nino Niederreiter, the Winnipeg Jets, will join the team.
you
So probably Easter's a little bit better, but still NHL talent on Switzerland is huge to kind of continue because they've got a little bit of momentum. They've been playing really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have they dropped a game yet?
Switzerland has dropped
they
one
lost-
overtime.
Wow.
Was it Czechia? I would assume so.
Was Czechia. Was
Yeah.
Czechia on the first day. On the first day. Wow. So are they top
That's-
of the group? Are they top of the
No,
group?
Czechia is above. But if
And US are
Czechia,
third?
yeah, so if Czechia and USA go to overtime and Switzerland wins in regulation, they will be first,
Wow.
according to my math.
So wait, there's no
Oh wait,
way
Czechia has to lose in overtime or lose. Yeah, Czechia has to lose in overtime,
Yep.
and Switzerland has to win.
Okay. Well, anyways, by the time this comes out,
Doesn't
everyone will know.
There's
yeah,
other
everyone will
ways,
know.
but yeah, there's other ways, but that's
Yes.
probably
Anyways, the
easiest.
answer to my question when you ask, I would rather play Germany out of those 4 teams. Yes, they have NHL talent. Yes, they have very talented NHL talent with Seider and Stutzla, and an NHL goalie with Grubauer. But I don't know. I think the other teams are just really good. Like they're just really good. I think Germany's just a step below them, and I think they're still going to be a challenge. Absolutely. But I would take Germany. 100%. I would take Germany.
Now, after we've wrapped up the World Championship, as we have nothing else much to talk about, we have some NHL to talk about. The second round has concluded, and we see only one Canadian team move on, as the Jets and the Leafs both are eliminated. We also have the Walter Cup finals starting soon. There's not really much to that. It's Ottawa versus Minnesota. Ottawa beat Montreal in 6, and Toronto kind of got destroyed in Minnesota. So, but
Yeah.
do you want to do NHL? And there's not really much to the PWHL other than
We could talk. I could talk a little P-Dub too.
Okay.
We don't have to talk much, but it's definitely interesting to note. Yeah, let's talk. Because it's the first time ever a Canadian team has been in the Walter Cup Finals.
Yeah.
So
there
you go.
Yeah, I mean,
there you go. Shout out Ottawa. They chose us.
They
chose us.
the two bottom teams making making the final. That's very interesting. I wonder if Montreal chose Minnesota, what would happen there? Who would win, Ottawa or Toronto? I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
Minnesota kind of beat up on Toronto. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And the one game was big. They lost big. Toronto lost big time. Anyways, it should be fun. I think Ottawa gets the first 2 games, right?
They do. Yep,
Yeah.
they do. Because think about it, they have the higher seed.
Yeah.
They are the higher seed.
So they get 1, 2, and then 5, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
That's big. That's big. Although Ottawa did win they won the first game on the road, and then they lost that crazy overtime game.
Yeah. And then rebounded.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
Well, yeah, good on Ottawa. I mean, really, we didn't really think Ottawa or Minnesota and Ottawa both clinched on the final day of the regular season, right? So
Yep.
we didn't really think much of them, given that Toronto and Montreal were so high in the standings and kind of
Yep.
just beat up on, like, especially New York. They just beat up on teams in the regular season.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happens sometimes, right? That's playoff hockey, and it's really good for the PWHL for sure.
Absolutely. And you got to give a big shout out to Gwyneth Phillips, the GOAT. She's a huge reason why the Ottawa Charge, are in, even here. I mean, Mashmeyer, still out with injury. Phillips
Right.
steps up, the young goaltender, who is it's her first year in the P-Dub. What a performance. What a performance. Good for her. And so we'll see if she continues it now in the finals, trying to win a chip against the champions.
Yeah,
For
sure.
Let's see if the team. Yeah,
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun hockey.
absolutely.
To watch.
Absolutely.
And,
One game already be done. One game
yeah.
already done by the time this comes
Yeah.
out. So
I believe Game 5 is next Wednesday, so we'll get to break down 4 games, assuming that there's not a sweep, and then the week after we can totally break it all down. But it's going to be really fun to watch, and we'll be sure next week to break it more down.
Yep.
Do you want to move on to NHL?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
A 3-series end. We'll start with the one that ended quite quickly. It was the Oilers moving on against the Vegas Golden Knights. The Edmonton Oilers, the only team to move on to the third round. Caleb, let me hear your thoughts. I know they might not be too positive, but I want to hear them. Positive only. Positive only. You have to say something nice.
Positive only.
You have to say something nice.
Evan Bouchard, man.
Boosh bomb, eh?
He's looking all right.
Yeah, he can score goals. This kid's pretty good. Might not be too good defensively, but
And it's also pretty cool that the Oilers had the worst goalie in the playoffs, or worst goalie tandem in the playoffs, and have made it this far.
yeah, that is I mean,
I would
it
assume
was-
so, right? Where maybe Montreal, but Montembeau's
Oh.
been good, and Dobish came out of nowhere and is good.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't really think of anyone else who's
Yeah.
had a bad goaltending. So
and just announced today that Matthias Ekholm participated in his first full practice today since injury, and he's looking. There's optimism for him to return to the lineup.
It's a few weeks ago. It sounded like it'd be near the end of the series.
Yeah.
But maybe earlier. We'll see.
Yeah, they're saying it was his first practice today back, and they're saying he could return. We'll see how long the series goes.
Yeah.
And that is a huge, huge addition for the back end. A back end that maybe lacks a little bit of experience. Definitely the weaker side of the Edmonton Oilers, I'd say. Like, you have Nurse, obviously. You have Bouchard. Wallman. Has Wallman ever been in a playoff series?
Maybe with the Blues. And was he around in 2019? He might have been. He actually might. He probably has a cup.
Yeah, but did he play in a very? He probably didn't play in a very significant role,
No,
did he?
Obviously not. But yeah, the defense is what they have. Cody Ceci
John
back
Clinton.
there.
No. Cody
No.
Ceci plays for the Stars now.
Oh, sorry. Why did it?
John Klingberg. I forgot about John Klingberg.
Sorry. Yes, Cody Ceci is now on the Stars, and John Klingberg is now on the. I don't know why I got those two mixed up.
It's okay. It's okay.
There you go. He played 0. He did not make the year before. He was in the AHL. Shoot, I was 1 year off. 1 year off. Dang.
I mean, Troy Stetcher. Has he ever played? Is he very good deep into playoffs? I mean,
I doubt it.
anyways, Matthias Ekholm is he's a rock back there. He's someone you can trust. That's going to be huge. He'll get probably put right into the top 4. That'll be a huge addition for the Edmonton Oilers. And I remember that was a big thing going into the playoffs. Like, do they have a shutdown guy? Do they?
No.
They get him back. That's huge. So we'll see if he comes back. That'll be huge for the Oilers up against these Stars, who personally
Are the best
I
team.
would. I was about to say I think they are the Cup favorites right now. They have a goal. They obviously have Otter, who is playing out of his mind. They have a D-core that is now with Heiskanen, and they're playing great. And their offense, we don't even need to talk about because they are insane.
They beat the Avalanche without Heiskanen or Jason Robertson.
Yep, exactly. And the thing, and they're dressing 11-7, 11 forwards, 7 defense, which doesn't work a lot. But as Pete DeBoer has said, that gives Rantanen more minutes, and that's all they need. So I guess if it works, it works. It doesn't work for 30 of the NHL team.
It's gonna be a fun series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great series.
It's gonna be more fun than the East.
Absolutely, the East. And no offense, I mean, the Carolina plays a boring game, very defensive game.
Well, we've already seen, we've seen Florida, Carolina. Was it last year, 2 years ago? They had the one overtime game that went to 5 overtime, but other than that, it's been really boring. Like Florida won. Did Florida sweep them?
Oh god!
The 1 year,
They did.
It was. I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
I think it was. I don't remember, but there was a sweep.
Yeah. Anyways, good on the Oilers. It's so, I don't know. It's just, it feels like it every year now, right?
But this is the hardest test. This is going to be the hardest test in the West Final, up against Dallas for the second straight year. So we'll see. Let's move on to the Winnipeg Jets. Let's move on to the Winnipeg Jets, who it was a bit of a crazy scenario. It was a game. Well, so it went to 6.
I don't know. In my opinion, just right off the bat, they just got outplayed.
Yeah. I mean, we just said it. Dallas is, we think, the favorite to win the cup.
Yeah.
And when Dallas needed to score, they scored, and they kicked the puck in the net as well.
We can go into Game 6 and the Scheifele. Like, that's a really cool story, and then a horrible ending. But condolences to the Scheifele family. Condolences to the Scheifele family. This is terrible what happened. Questionable Mark Scheifele to even dress for Game 6, as I think a lot of people expected he does, because he's a Warrior, and he opens the scoring and gets the Jets on the board and makes it 1-0. But unfortunately, with seconds left in Game 6, or about 45 seconds left in Game 6, it's honestly a play I think he has to make. Or it's hard because I forget who was off and away, but it was pretty much a breakaway. He was pretty much gone. Yeah.
And Scheifele kind of just reaches around and gets a penalty for it and puts a very dangerous Dallas power play on the power play with a tie game with 45 seconds left in the third.
Like, do you take... People are saying it's smart to take the penalty, but, like, it's also Vezina winner one-on-one. It wasn't a good... Like, was it Sam Steele? I know he already scored, but was it not him on the breakaway?
That name's given. That name is ringing a bell. I think it might have been
I know
Sam Steele.
He scored the tying goal, and he's been pretty good this series. But Sam Steele versus Connor Hellebuck, take your chances. That's a bad... I don't know. I feel like it's not the smartest penalty.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's just in the moment, right? In the moment, you're trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
Didn't go as favor.
It's just really unfortunate.
It is. But there's nothing you can do about it. It's in the past. Yeah. Not a good day for Mark Scheifele, unfortunately.
No, it's just horrible.
A day he'll want to forget, I'm sure. But, like, I'm looking at some stuff right now. Overall, both teams actually had about the same amount of, like, shot attempts, right around bang average, high danger scoring chances, favored the Dallas Stars almost significantly. Final was 66-45, so Dallas did a really good job of getting near the slot and in the dangerous areas. It was about 60% high danger scoring chances for Dallas compared to the 40% of Winnipeg. So, and I mean, both goalies were pretty. I think both goalies were all right. They were both all right.
Hellebuck was better.
You think so? Than Ottinger?
Oh no! I'm just saying.
Oh,
sorry, better this
overall.
Series.
Overall, okay,
compared to last series, there was still 1 or 2 games that were questionable. No,
Yeah.
but Ottinger's just better.
And
in this series.
Yeah.
So now here's the question.
Yep.
Does this series change the outlook of the Olympics and the goalie?
For the U.S.? Are we talking U.S.? Okay, I'll say it quick. Yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
Especially since Andre said himself that he has his sights on being the starter for the U.S. Obviously, we're not going to get too into it because we're a Canadian podcast, but I think it does, absolutely. I think they'll both make the team. They'll both get... I think... Well, to be fair,
it's 1 and 2.
They'll both make the team, and then they'll both get a game, and then whoever's hot at the time next February will get the start. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be at least 1 back-to-back, probably 2 for each team. So they'll trade back-to-backs for sure.
Yeah.
For the pool play at least. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Just tough series for Winnipeg. Played the favorite. And if this was gonna be their year, they had to play the best team in the playoffs at one point. Went to 7, couldn't get it done. Let's move on to our third and final Canadian team. One I know we would love to talk about, and it was my favorite holiday yesterday, Leafs Elimination Day. Sorry, Leaf fans. I feel for you a little bit. I do feel for you. rough game 7. Caleb, let's get into the series.
Where do we want to begin? So we already broke down what was last week? Game 5? No, there was 4. We were talking about how Florida tied it up. So basically, Florida completely dismantles them in Game 5, and it looks like it's over. Everybody thought it was over. I saw a couple edits of Mitch Marner leaving. Game 6 comes around. You know what? They win. It was a pretty solid effort.
It was all right, but
And now we're going into Game 7.
Yep.
Leafs are what? Leafs are what? 0-7 in Game 7s.
They were 0
or 0-6.
I know the core 4 was 0-5 going into this Game 7.
Yeah. So now they're 0-6. Okay.
Yeah.
Going into this game, what were you thinking?
Oh man,
Because I know what I was thinking.
Like, in my mind, of course, I had the Game 7 curse of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay.
And but it just felt different this year after they were able to scrape away. And in order to win the cup, you have to be able to win the dirty games. And they went into Florida in Game 6 and scraped away a 2-0 win with being outchanced and Joseph Wall standing on his head, and they were able to come out of that game with a 2-0 victory. It felt different going into Game 7, and Leaf fans were very excited. They were back home. The building was buzzing. After so many years, you would think that the mindset of the players, especially the core 4, would be, let's relax. We've been here before.
Yeah.
This year is different. It's just a mindset change. You have to hate to lose it to win. You can't love to win. You have to hate to lose. That's the biggest driving factor, and I don't know if the Leafs core 4 has that. They came into this Game 7, and the first 10 minutes told a story. Just pure domination for Florida. That was my mindset, Caleb. I want to hear your mindset going into Game 7.
I thought it was done. I thought that the Panthers had this locked up.
You just thought, of course you did. Of course you did. Why is that?
It's just the history. They never learned. And you want to what? So 0-5. You want to take your chances against 0-5 and bet the unbelievable or the impossible. Like, there's like not even any of the, like, most of those games are very bad. Those Game 7s that they lost, none of them went to overtime, or did
the last year did so. Against Boston. Last year against Boston,
but then I believe that Boston game was very bad. They played pretty bad for most of that game as well.
Yeah. Also, remember Game 7, 2013.
But that wouldn't have included that in the 0-5. But still, anyways,
I just felt like
it just was. I knew it was over. So
and another thing to add, good, hey Caleb, good for you. Another thing to add, I mean,
it was. And also it was over within that 10 minutes, like you're saying.
Oh, absolutely. The fun little stat: the Panthers had 25 shot attempts before the Leafs had even one, and it was almost like the Leafs just couldn't get out of their zone. They were so drowned by the pressure of this Panthers team. They came out with so much jump, and the Leafs didn't know how to handle it, and that was the worst thing that could happen for the crowd. Joseph Wall played fine, but now he's bombarded with all these things while Bob is just relaxing. He gets into the game, he does, and his first period was great. There was no goals against him, but it was something I think maybe some fans just kind of looked past. But the Panthers are the Cup champs. They have literally been in this situation before with more on the line, like the Stanley Cup last year against Edmonton, Game 7. Their players know how to handle this game. Oh, and let's not forget that they also have the Leaf killer with Brad Marchand, who is now 5-0 in Game 7s against the Leafs. Yeah. This kid, Brad Marchand, just is the Leaf killer. Absolutely. It is. I think it's a record or it's history that he has the most Game 7 victories against a single team in NHL history. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know why. Like, I was honestly, I thought the Leafs had it, but as soon as that 10 minutes happened and the Panthers were all over them, I'm like, oh yes, how did I forget? The Panthers are just on another level. But the Leafs fought back. I won't lie. The next 10 minutes, the latter half of that first period, I thought the Leafs played fine. They bounced right back, and it looked like it could go either way.
Yeah. No, that they were pretty. They played pretty well in that back half of that first period, and going into the second, sure, you could have optimism, and then it just falls apart. Like we don't have much time to break it down, but
Well, I'll say it right here. The shot attempts in the second period were 40-14
yeah,
for the Florida Panthers. So that tells you a story right there of how dominant the second period was for the Panthers. It was a 3-0 game. High danger, scoring chances, 7-0 for the Florida Panthers, compared to the first, where it was actually 7-2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs, they've done a really good job. They did a really good job all playoffs of getting players behind the defense and just having free breakaways or a 2-on-1. They did it a lot against the Ottawa series, and they did it a lot, especially in this Game 7 in the first period, where they just sprung guys deep, weren't able to finish. But so decent first period, terrible second period, and even after that second period, the momentum's gone. Like, I remember it was second intermission, and I was like, well, me and my dad were having a great time, as Sens fans watching the Leafs crumble. And we were like, well, this is a great game. Like, it's pretty much over. Like Panthers, Carolina. Wow, that's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, I don't have much else to say. We do have to move on, but like,
Yeah.
classic.
Classic, absolutely. Man, got to feel for the Leaf fans. They have a lot of passion. They do. We live in Toronto. We do live in Toronto.
I do have a take, and we'll end on this take. I feel bad for Mitch Marner.
You feel bad for Mitch Marner when he was telling the boys on the bench to wake up when he should wake up himself.
No, not even. I mean, I guess it's not really a take on the game. It's more, man, he wanted so badly to win a cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's not gonna happen. But like, he declined that trade to Carolina. Like, he could be in this conference final right now. He could have signed somewhere else a few years ago for a lot more money and probably a better chance of making it further. It's just it's horrible that it ended this way. And he is such a good player. Like, I know the playoff pedigree with any of these four players, but like, I feel like he would shine with some guys that can, like, he would shine on a Dallas Star team.
Absolutely.
Or a Carolina, or a Panthers.
Like Rantanen.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what Rantanen. It hid in the shadows for Nathan McKinnon for so long, and I'm not saying that's comparable to Matthews and Marner, but I kind of feel like it is. Like, if you let Marner be the man on one of these teams, although he has to share the time,
he's gonna win a cup.
But absolutely, but right now he has to share the time with Matthews and Nylander as the top dogs, right? But if you let him kind of be a Rantanen's getting as many minutes as he wants. He's playing power play 1. He gets to control the puck. If you let Marner do that, I think Marner could do exactly what Rantanen's doing right now with a new team. And I'll ask you this one question before we move on. I want you to give me a percentage chance that Marner is gone from the Leafs this summer in free agency. How high is it?
200% chance.
Dude, he's gone. He's good as gone, you're saying. Okay.
It's, man, what about John Tavares in your opinion?
Oh, see, I actually think it's below 50%. I think he gives a really good deal. I think he signs
like
a really cheap deal. Under 5. Under 5 for sure. He could even drop down. The thing is, I was about to say he could drop down to a third line center, but he's literally had great numbers this year. He had great numbers this year, and I think I think he signs for about $5 million. He's too old now to go to a new team. Mind you, hasn't won a cup, but it's not
Right.
like Toronto's going to go that far down the totem pole where they're just not going to contend for a cup at all. They're still going to be a great team. And so I think he still fits as that second line center. I give it 30%. Oh, even less, 25% chance he leaves Toronto this offseason.
All right, and that will do it. Let's move on to producers' picks. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Do you see that timing? That was perfect.
That was
timing.
great. That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
was that not set up?
I sent the link when you asked that question, knowing that we would end on that.
Perfect.
All right, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
What do we have today?
Wait, can I ask a question first?
Yep, go.
Raina, can you guess what jersey I am wearing right now? What team I am wearing?
What colors is it?
Can you not see the? Can you see the top half?
Yeah. Is it purple?
No, it's like a dark blue. I'll give you that.
Oh, I don't know. Mm. It's an NHL
It's an-
team that's still like
It's a Canadian, and it's a Canadian team. I wouldn't wear an American team.
um like one of the seven.
One of the seven, yes.
Navy blue. With maroon.
Navy blue. Navy blue. This is your quiz of the day.
I don't know.
Think about it. Think
Stop.
about it.
I
Just think about it a little bit.
don't know.
Think about it a little bit. Think about it. There's a.
Oilers.
Oh! The only Canadian team left. Let's go Oilers. Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to test. I just wanted to give you a quick test before we go. Before we get started.
Okay.
Let's
Um,
hear your list.
Today, our topic's not completely Canadian.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
It's half Canadian, half American. Sorry.
Okay.
We're
Let's-
ranking PWHL color schemes.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Uh,
So we're doing all of them.
Does this include the new
There's only
PWHL
6.
teams?
No.
well, they
just-
don't have a
no.
logo yet.
I guess so, but they kind of have colors.
They got their color. but
Look,
that's
you
it.
got kind of a little bit of blue, kind of tint of blue.
No, I didn't include them.
Okay.
We're just gonna do the 6 that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm with you.
Okay. Number 6 is the Ottawa Charge, which are red, yellow, white, black. I like it. It's just nothing special. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree
It's
too.
it's the most boring, or like least. I wouldn't say
Very
creative.
generic. It's
Yeah,
very
That's the
generic.
word. Generic.
Very generic.
That's the word.
I think the PWHL did a very good job of actually picking the color schemes, and
Like it's
I
not a
think-
bad color scheme.
No,
it's,
it's
just,
not.
You just
None
see
of
it all
these
the
are.
time.
Yeah, none of these are. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, there's not much on that one. I think that's clear cut 6.
Okay. I don't know how you guys will feel about this one. Number 5 is the Toronto Scepters, which is blue, yellow, navy, and like white. I like it. I honestly do like it. And the blue and the yellow are really bright, and I think they look really good. I just think that the other ones are like more different. You know what I mean? So. But I do love the yellow and the blue. Like those colors are really good. I love the blue.
All right, Kev, I'll let you go first.
This might be the best one. I'm sorry. Like I know it's between Toronto and one that will be named later. Like I don't know. There's 2 that I definitely have below this one. This
Okay.
one's just so clean.
It is.
Like
And you don't-
like Boston and New York. Like I don't know. Like the blue is just great.
Yeah, the blue is good.
But we're
like,
we're
blue-
having like dark green Boston Fleet.
But blue, yellow, and like white is not that exciting if you just think about those 3.
But the green and teal, and white is higher than, I don't know. I think yellow and blue are pretty good together.
I do like them.
Yeah, I mean, I really like as you guys have already said, I really like the yellow and blue. I think the background of the blue makes the yellow pop. But we're just talking. I think we're just talking color schemes here. So if I think of the blue next to the yellow, next to the white, I kind of get what Raina's saying. I love it on the jersey. I love the colors on a jersey. But if we're just looking, like if I'm at Home Depot trying to pick some paint up for my room and I see this color scheme, I don't think I'm choosing it over the other ones.
I could disagree more.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Maybe it's
move
just
on.
me. Maybe it's just me.
Let's move on.
Number 4 is the Boston Fleet, which is the dark green, the aqua, the white. I really like it, but I like the other ones more.
Yeah.
I really like the dark green and the like aqua teal color though. Like
I don't
I think
know.
it's really different. It's cool.
It's different. I'm not the biggest fan. I didn't really know it was that aqua-y or teal-y.
I think it is. It's kind of like a bright. It's not
It
teal.
is. I know. I just didn't know it was like that.
Wait, for the Boston Fleet, is it not just like dark green?
No, there's teal on the top, on the shoulders.
Is there?
Okay. Let's move on. We gotta kind of make it quick.
No thoughts. Okay.
I don't like the. I don't know.
No,
I
it's
disagree.
all right. I like the dark green. I think it's perfect mid tier. I think it's mid tier color scheme.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with this. My top 3, the order that they're. Okay. Number 3 is New York Sirens, which is teal, navy, orange, and white.
Yeah.
I love it. I
That's-
like the orange and the teal
Mm.
together.
Mm.
I think
But for a
it's
color
kinda-
scheme,
But
teal and
but,
orange.
yeah.
Nah. I mean,
It's,
like out of so after Toronto and Ottawa, the 4, like I would have those 4 the way you have it. I don't like the New York.
You don't like the orange? Oh my
Not
god, I
really.
think the orange looks really good with the teal. I think it looks really good.
I think they
the
pulled it
teal.
off well. I think they pulled it off well, but like color scheme wise,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's maybe about. I think I agree with the Ottawa last, but I think it could be. I do.
Oh,
love the
really?
teal. I do. Wait, no. I'd say hover around 4th. I know you put it 3rd. I like the 4th.
Okay.
Well, it's not bad. I don't mind the ranking.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So
Number-
what, 2?
Yeah. Number 2 is the Montreal Victoire with the red, the navy, and the beige. And I think, wait, before you say anything, if it was just like regular, like normal red, blue, white, like that's nothing special. Obviously, that's like your American flag. That's like your Montreal Canadiens. But I think that the tones that they did, like the dark red, the navy,
It's
and
really
the
good.
beige, it's really good.
It is.
It makes
I
it
don't
like
I don't like the blue involved, but
Ooh, what?
I think it makes it like I like the beige. It just makes it like retro. And,
but
like,
just the blue is odd to me.
I don't
Why?
think it is.
Why is it odd?
Well, first of all, why do you need to include it on the jersey? I know we're doing
Because
color
it's
scheme.
It's a Montreal Victoire.
Like, why can't they just do the
I
light, like the cream color and the maroon?
No,
I
no.
like how it also is like they have like this and then they have Montreal Canadiens and they're like similar. They're just like different tones.
I totally agree. I do not think you could have a Montreal team that did not have the rouge, the blanc, and the bleu. You need it. You need it. It's history. That is historic to Montreal. Blur, you like that?
Blur.
You like that? And you just need it, honestly. The red, the white, and the blue. That is Montreal. That is the city of Montreal. That will always be historic. And I like it. They went different than Montreal. They went the maroon, they went the darker blue, and they went the cream white. And I really like it. I think personally this will be my 1. Although I do agree that you have the correct top 2, because I think the other one is really, really, really good.
Oh my god, it's so good.
But I just love. I think Montreal couldn't have done a better job of picking their color scheme.
We're good with that. I just think that like Minnesota, I love Personally, I just love purple, but you don't see it very often either. And I like the dark and the light purple and how they didn't really add any other colors to that. It's just like purple, purple, white. I think it looks so good. The shades of purple are just like perfect.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, you don't see it ever. I don't think we've ever had like maybe a little bit in the NFL with like the Ravens
The Vikings.
and the Vikings, but like
the light purple is just so perfect.
yeah, I agree.
They're both perfect.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
I agree. You have the correct top two. I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know. The purple is cool, and I think it's cool, like on the logo, how they have the light, like it's gradient, so the light purple is at the top and the dark purple is at the bottom of the logo, and then they've got the colors or whatever on the jersey. I think that's really cool. That's not really part of the color scheme though, but yeah. Is that white? Is it an actual white, or is that get a light purple? I can't really tell on the.
I think it's
A
white.
white?
Okay.
It looks like a white to me too.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think my top three would be Toronto, Minnesota,
I don't know.
Montreal.
I don't know what gradient you're talking about, to be honest.
On the logo, it's like dark purple at the bottom, light purple at the top.
Yeah, I like it. I get what you mean. It's kind of a gradient.
There's a little like it's hard. I mean, the lighting sucks in half of these images, and some of them.
I
are
can't
newer.
see any gradient, but I'll take your word for it, I guess.
It is gradient. It is a gradient, but anyways, good list.
Yeah, I like
Yes,
it too.
sorry, it's not all Canadian.
Hey, it's okay. Shout out to P-Dub.
was created
Expanding, getting
in
bigger. And
Canada.
they also just announced the expansion draft rules. I believe you're not able to protect many players. There's going to be a lot of good players
Moving.
going to Vancouver and Seattle. I think it's only 3 or 4 players you can protect.
Yeah,
that leaves a lot of players on the board for these teams. Like you're going to see some big names get moved to Seattle and to Vancouver.
Yeah, that was a big issue with signing new players and drafting new players last year, is because a lot of these players could have a good chance of getting picked, right?
Yeah.
So-
Oh my gosh. Hey, it's gonna be great. It's like that is a
It's gonna be
must
good.
watch.
Yeah.
It's a must watch. Like
Yeah.
if you're Montreal, do you protect Poulin because she's old?
I mean, she's washed, so I mean, I probably would leave her unprotected. Well, guys, another day, another episode. Next week, we will be recapping the World Championships. Of course,
Yes.
it will be over by then. Then we'll dive into P-Dub and then NHL. After that, we still haven't really determined what we're doing, but it'll probably be every other week for episodes. And throughout the summer, we'll do the same thing. So,
Yeah.
but definitely stay tuned. The next couple weeks will be fun at PWHL, NHL wrap up as well. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. There's tons like even in the offseason there's gonna be tons to talk about. Obviously Canadian players are gonna be on the move. Maybe even an episode about the Toronto Maple Leafs. What will happen to the team? I think that could be very interesting if you wanted to go deep into that. Tons still to do, even when the offseason is, although we are getting to the peak of the NHL and the World Championship. So tons to still do.
all right, squad. Peace out.
See you guys.